Heart. Hello. Hey, Drake. I just thought about that. Say, Drake. Yeah, that was awesome. Say, Drake. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics. Okay, guys. I got to talk about something very serious. You guys know where I am on this. Our country is falling. The democracy is falling quickly, and I think we're falling, or we are falling, or have fallen into fascism. So I have to ask you very serious questions here, and I want you to take this serious. Sit down and listen to me, y'all. I feel like the teacher in my school when the bell rang and everybody's making noise, and you're like, "Come on, calm down, calm down, calm down, everybody, everybody." I want you to pay attention to me because I think this is really important. Okay, and I'm going to show you the evidence in all of that. So, how are you doing today, class? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. This is Hot Topics at 10 Eastern every day on the Don Lemon Show, on the Don Lemon channel, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and then later on the podcast streaming places. So make sure if you love us or if you hate watching, make sure you hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, at what point do you call a Nazi a Nazi? Right? Coming in hot, right? Do you do it when they use Nazi rhetoric? Excuse me. Do you do it when they propose Nazi policy prescriptions? Do you do it when they perform, I'm not even going to, my arms don't go this far. I'm not doing that. Do you do it when they perform gestures that look an awful lot like a Nazi salute? At what point do you call a Nazi a Nazi? Do you have to wait until someone outright just declares that they are a Nazi or that they're doing it? Or is it sleight of hand gestures, sleight of hand gestures? I like that. Sleight of hand gestures. I wonder if anyone has done that. That's what we have to discuss today. Is it a gaslight? Are they trolling? And I don't think it matters if they're trolling at this point because it's bad. Either one is bad. The trolling and doing it or the actual doing it. They're still playing in your face and it's still as bad. And by the way, let me know where you're streaming from. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is Steve Bannon. You guys know who Steve Bannon is. This is him yesterday. I think he's at CPAC. Watch.
The only way that they win is we retreat, and we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit. Fight, fight, fight. Amen.
Okay, again, play it one more time, please, Andy. Now, you have eyes, right? Okay, play it again, please.
The only way that they win is we retreat, and we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit. Fight, fight, fight. Amen.
Let me know in the comments. I haven't seen any comments this morning. What, is anybody there? Am I the only one here? Do we not have comments? Okay, Amanda Jackie says clear salute. Okay, so what do you guys think? I just want you, if maybe you are MAGA, maybe you're a Jewish person and you know what that means. If you are, I understand how, look, I'm not Jewish and I don't like it. It pisses me off. It unnerves me. It's concerning, especially since, we've been dealing with a lot of anti-Black hate, anti-Jewish hate, anti-Asian hate, a lot of hate going around, a lot of Islamophobia, all kinds of crap. Yeah, Maureen Marfell says that looked like a Nazi salute. Call the shit what it is, says Kristen Moore. Yeah. Okay, Marie, thank you. It is what it is. It's what we saw. They're going to try to pretend that we didn't see that with our own eyes. Now, this is three folks who are MAGA. And they have done it recently. One of it, I think, is a priest who's been defrocked. One of it is the head of DOGE, and the other one is Steve Bannon. Watch.
Fight, fight!
I can encourage you, and my heart goes out to you. God bless.
Happen. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
can encourage you, and my heart goes out to you. God bless.
I mean, I didn't put that video together, but again, I want to know what you think. Andy, I want you to play it, and I want you to pause because I want to read what they're saying. Okay, so play it again, and then you don't have to put the sound up, but here it is. Okay, so the first one, he's just trolling. That's what they say. He's just trolling. The second one is he's just demonstrating his heart going out because he did his after the Musk one. And then this one, they're just saying he's just autistic. That he's, you know, admittedly, he has said something about how whatever he's on the spectrum or something like that. Now, it's, I mean, coincidence or what? Because look, this is America, and we're supposed to be the sort of beacon of a democracy, of hope, of fairness, of equity, of rights, and all of those things. And we know what this salute means. Now, I'm just asking you what you think of it, because they have come up with excuses for it. The second guy was trolling because he was, you know, he was actually repeating or mimicking what Elon Musk did. And then Steve Bannon, they're saying he's just trolling. I don't know. This is an official statement from Steve Bannon. But even if it is a troll, then wow. And if it's not, if you did not mean to do it, then shouldn't you say, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I went back, I looked at the video, and it looks like that. And I know it does look like that, but I promise you, it's not what it is. And I'm so sorry that anyone is even thinking that that's what it is. Like, you would leave no room for interpretation or for people to say, hey, what are you doing? Don't you think that you would make it extremely clear? Wow, the chat is going crazy with this today. Don't you think it would make it extremely clear that that was not your intention? And for all the trolls that say, oh, there are other people who do it, and then they're showing other people, whatever, those people are not, they were like pointing at something, or, you know, the Democrats said it's not. Like, that's hogwash. It's bullshit. Don't do that. It's not, it's just not the same thing. Y'all, we are in danger. We are in trouble. We are in trouble because, again, if they mean what it's supposed to mean, that is awful. We are in trouble. If they are just trolling, it means that they don't care and they're just playing with you, and they don't take this sort of symbolism and action seriously. That's what it means. Now, I have to tell you that I have a Jewish friend who wondered, said, oh, I don't know. Are you sure that's what it means? I don't know. Don't you think they were just like saying my heart goes out to you or something? And everyone in the room is like, what? And they had to remind him that the ADL said, we are in these, put out a statement saying, basically saying, give some grace. And then later, the person that they gave grace to made these jokes on the internet or on Twitter about trolling jokes of Jewish or anti-Jewish jokes or anti-Semitic jokes that they deemed anti-Semitic. And then the ADL had to come back and then denounce. I think they took their statement back maybe, but they had to denounce the jokes after they had just defended the person. Who are we? Why are we allowing this to happen? And PK-12 is right. Now, I'm tired of them making excuses for grown men. Why are they making excuses for grown men? Now, I just want you to look at your screen, okay? Now, look at your screen, and I want you to put Barack Obama or Hakeem Jeffries or some other black lawmaker, Clyburn. I'm just saying, just an exercise here. And they were doing these things. What do you think America would say and do? What do you think the Republican Party would say or do? What do you think MAGA would say or do? And is MAGA, that folks are calling this now the MAGA salute. MAGA, are you okay with this? What do you think they would do if the black man, regardless, let's just think of 3 black men in here, or like just think if I did some shit like that, what would MAGA do? What would they say? What would a lot of white folks in the country, honestly, what do you think they would say and do? They would lose their minds, Mari. And so why are people, producers, can you please check, see if the ADL has responded to this? And if they haven't, we need to send them a note. We need to send Jonathan Greenblatt a note. I want to know what he thinks about this. Why aren't people losing their minds about it? Black, white, Jewish, Protestant, Catholic, Christian, whatever. Why aren't people losing their minds over this? Why aren't people losing their minds over this? Tell me. This all happened at CPAC. And there are some really unusual and strange things that are happening at CPAC.
Sorry, Don. On at least their website and their Twitter, there's no statement.
There's no statement. CPAC, what is it, Conservative Political Action Committee or something like that? Is that what it is?
Conference, but yes.
Conference, yeah. So CPAC, there's some strange things going on. It looks like now they are promoting, or at least at least from Steve Bannon, this MAGA salute. They are also, as I have been telling you, let me stand by, the producers are giving me something. Also, as I have been telling you guys about Donald Trump, other reporting from ADL did not respond for comment. Okay, so the ADL has not responded for comment on this. Okay, so I had been telling you guys about a third term. I've been telling you that Donald Trump is not going to leave office. He doesn't want to go. He's going to try to run for a third term. There have been there was a congressperson, and there was someone else. Well, no, that was a woman who wanted him to be on what was it? Not Mount Everest, but wanted him to be on whatchamacallit?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, with the presidents, Mount Rushmore. And then they want him to run for a third term. And I told you they were going to try to do it. And I told you they were going to say, because he did not serve 2 consecutive terms, that was going to be their excuse or reason for him running again. Okay? So this is at the CPAC conference. Watch.
Especially in the modern mind frame, think, well, presidents should only have 2 terms, right? That's how it's always been. Well, the truth of the matter of fact is that it's not always been like that. Franklin D. Roosevelt served 4 terms as president, and then we got this 22nd Amendment. That was the impetus for it. And so we are not asking for a huge modification, actually. And we've got a lot of criticism. Well, what if we allow Joe Biden to run again? Well, I don't know if he can even tie his shoes, so that's not going to happen. But what about Obama? Obama could run again. Well, what we're asking for is a modification to the 22nd Amendment, which would be that a president can serve 2 consecutive terms and no more. So in President Trump's case, he served 1 term. The second term was interrupted, and now he has another term, and so he should be allowed to effectuate his agenda with a second term. A lot of presidents, usually when they win once, they win again. And so we're not even saying that President Trump will be president again. So if he does run in 2028, it could be that he does not elect him. We're just saying that he should have the opportunity to be elected. And so there's certainly legal precedent for it. We're going to have to get at least 2/3 majority vote in the House and in the Senate, but that's certainly possible. And it's not unprecedented that a president would run 3 terms or even 4 terms. We're just saying a 3rd term would be ideal. And a lot of the left says they support democracy. This would be part of democracy, right? So we're just giving opportunity. If people don't vote for President Trump in 2028, so be it. But we want him to have the opportunity to run again, to continue making America great.
Now, it was longer than that. I shortened it because there's another guy who's explaining his reasoning as well, who was on before that. I mean, you ever seen that meme that's on the internet? Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? No. N-O. But I told you they're going to try to do it, and watch them. They are going to try to do it to get him to run a 3rd. I'm telling you. So he's just at the beginning of his 2nd term, and they're already saying a 3rd term. And then you had the folks at the Black History celebration at the White House yesterday saying the same thing: 8 more years. First they said 4 more years, and then they said 8 more years. So I'm telling, and then he's putting all the people in place, excuse me, all the people in place who will have a say and jurisdiction over our elections. And who's not to say they're going to go, look, these votes, we need to throw these votes out in Florida, these votes in Texas, these votes over here in Pennsylvania, they are fraudulent. And how are you going to check them? Because they are in charge of the Justice Department. They're in charge. The Supreme Court is certainly, last time, even though they were heavily conservative, it's weighted to the conservative side, even they found no evidence of fraud in the 2020 election. But still, they are heavily conservative, and 3 of them were appointed by the MAGA president. So we are barreling. This is a race car that I'm not sure has any brakes on it, that we are barreling towards fascism. And we're like looking at a sign that says democracy. Democracy is going to sign in the rearview mirror that you have to read backwards because it's behind you and you got to look at it in the rearview mirror. Can we stop counting on the midterms? We won't have a country in 2 months. I don't know if we can count on the midterms. I'm not saying that you should not get revved up for the midterm. So they are saying consecutive, but this is what the Constitution says, according to my trusty producers. This is what the 22nd Amendment says. This is the wording. The wording says, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. And no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. So the Constitution, the 22nd Amendment says no, it doesn't say, I should say, it doesn't say consecutive. It says no more than 2 terms. So I think they're going to have a hard time with this consecutive thing. But again, they are very powerful. They are in control of every branch of the government right now. So that's what's happening at the CPAC. But if you think that is juicy, or if that gets, riles you up, and I see that it is because the chat is going crazy, make sure you hit the thumbs up and make sure you hit the likes, everyone, because it affects the algorithm and more people get to see who we are. I want to thank Yvette Valentine. Thank you. We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot let him get a third term. Thank you for your generous support of independent media. We appreciate it. And I want to welcome all of our new members. The membership link is in the top of the chat. Well, it's not, we have the poll there, but we need to put the link in the top of the chat. That's like every day we should need to do that. Thank you, Intuitive Terror, 420 Intuitive Terror, for your generous support of independent media. Wow, thank you. That's really kind of you. We're absolutely in trouble. Delusion is at an all-time high, but we have to continue to have faith and stand up for ourselves. Faith over fear. I agree. But we also have to, they say the Lord helps those who help themselves. And so we also have to help ourselves. We cannot sit around and expect a miracle to happen. So Kamisha, welcome. Dave Smith, welcome to the Elimination. Again, Yvette Valentine, welcome to the Elimination as well. Thank you all for your very generous support of independent media. And thank you for becoming members. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. The subscriptions are free. And the memberships are very reasonable. We actually had a membership private link last night, and we had a great time. So if you are missing out on the fun of some of the perks that the members get if you are Elimination or Lemon Legend. Okay, so let's get back to all of the antics happening over. Hit the hearts if you're on TikTok. All the antics happening over at the CPAC. Okay. So I'm just going to show you guys. I want you to just listen closely. Just listen closely. Okay. Crocswire says, I like the vibe. What vibe? You like the vibe of us? Okay. I just want you to listen closely to the interview that is happening and to the actions that are happening on the stage at CPAC. Okay, so this one is, now it involves a chainsaw. Watch. Okay. Not, I mean, maybe he's talking about slashing and burning, cutting the fat, trimming the fat. I don't know. Do you trim fat with a chainsaw? Like he's taking a chainsaw to I don't know, the America, to the government, to the Constitution, to what? I don't know. I don't know. Andy, can we see it one more time? So this is, again, this is what's happening. And remember, these are the people who are in charge of the funding, doing recommendations according to the White House on who should get fired, which agencies should go away, how many jobs, all of that. This is who it is. Okay. And so here's the picture. Let's show what the picture looks like, because this will help out as well. So this is a photograph of, there we go. What do you guys think? Today it's going to be heavy comments, because I think this all deserves comments. What do you guys think? Kev, the creator, says embarrassing and unprofessional. I can't say what Leon Brown says. I might get kicked off of this. Grand Jurist says savages. Demetrius Cephas says Michael Myers. Jolyn Kenwood, this is your comments. He looks and acts more like Leatherface. Cringe, says Ago Jay. What do you guys think? No wonder he and Trump have bonded. They are both so childlike, says Raleen Henry. Anita Leak, thank you for your support of independent media. Very generous of you. Out of control, says Nancy. Unbelievable. Big entertainment, Don. Donna W says, they are very bad actors and clowns, says Violet Ray. Yeah. He's giving us all the middle fingers, says Chris Olson. Now, remember, Amanda Belcher says he's high as a mofo. We don't know. He's wearing sunglasses, but here's the thing. Look, people are free to do what they want, but just remember there are a whole lot of people who are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are losing their jobs. And does it look to you that someone is taking glee in that? Of the firing of people? Because if I lost my job, I would be like, wow, someone is laughing at me. Losing my job. Taking away funding for people. I'm just saying. Okay, now I want you to sit and listen to this one as well. Okay, everybody, just turn, if you have whatever you may have the radio, some music in the background or whatever, the kids, just quiet everybody down in the house, turn it down. If you're in the car, I don't know if you may have the radio on, whatever it is. Close the door in your office, wherever you're watching us. And I just want you to listen to this. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, here we go.
If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, look, he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
It's not worth 8 cents.
but there's that, but the, yeah, it was essentially to buy freedom of expression.
Andy, can you play it again?
If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, look, he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
It's not worth 8 cents.
but there's that, but the, yeah, it was essentially to buy freedom of expression.
Okay, do you guys? I don't know what he said. That's all I'm asking. Did you understand what he said? Okay. Let's move on. Now, according to the reporting, Elon Musk has private guards around him all the time. And according to the reporting, those guards have now been given the right to carry out arrests. Ann Bernard is saying on the tweeter here, Musk's private guards will now be able to carry out arrests, per CBS reporter, among other details that set off sirens for anyone who has seen now how competing, murky, quasi-governmental militias can screw with societies. And this is, I guess, this is a CBS report, I would imagine. It's not immediately clear that what authorities Musk's team will be granted, but law enforcement deputized by the marshals are typically permitted to carry weapons on federal grounds and can carry out arrests. I mean, again, I'm just saying. Tell me what you think of this, and if you are concerned, I'm trying to fix something over here, sorry. If you are concerned by any of this, if you're concerned, maybe it doesn't bother some people. Perhaps it doesn't, I don't know, but I'm just saying it is concerning. Okay, so I'm going to show you some stuff because, you know, I don't want to be that much of a downer this morning because this is serious stuff. I'm taking my time and I'm just showing it to you. And I'm not really making a judgment on any of this. I'm just showing it to you so that you can see it for yourself. This is the reporting from, I want to show you, this is from the Bulwark, okay? And remember how we said that the people in the red states would be more affected and that it was going to affect a whole lot of people who didn't intend on it. And you heard from the folks that there were a lot of people who were getting caught up through the cracks. That's what the Fox News were saying. They were basically saying, don't let our people get caught up in this because it's not fair. It should just be the DEI people. A top-ranking FEMA official who took Elon Musk's resignation deal was fired 13 days later by the Trump administration, raising questions about the integrity of the program that the White House put together to off-ramp tens of thousands of federal employees. So the reporting is that this gentleman took Musk's resignation deal, was fired 13 days. Do we have the article that we can put up? I don't know if we have the article. Was fired 13 days later for Trump administration, raising questions about the integrity of the program that the White House put together to off-ramp tens of thousands of federal employees. This person was a retired Navy captain. He had served as chief of staff at FEMA region, which encompasses Kansas, Missouri, and let me get the rest of the reporting.
I have it up on here now, Don.
You do? Okay, great. Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. Like most other federal workers, he received the infamous fork in the road email that Musk's DOGE operation sent out through the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, on January 28th, offering him the chance to resign from his post while retaining, quote, all pay and benefits regardless of your daily workload, and an exemption from in-person work requirements through the end of September. Recipients were given until February 6th to accept that offer. Remember when this went out? I remember, and we saw these letters ourselves, and we saw the reporting on these letters ourselves. Despite some skepticism, Curtis concluded that as a 55-year-old retired military officer with a pension and experience as an engineer with a specialization in aircraft carrier nuclear power systems, he had future prospects. So on the morning of February 4th, 2 days before the deadline, he replied to the fork in the road email in the manner it prescribed with a single word, resign. The next day, he received a terse reply from the HR at OPM Gov account acknowledging receipt. We received your email response. We will reply shortly. Curtis provided copies of both emails to the Bulwark. But they didn't reply shortly, OPM. In fact, it didn't reply to Curtis at all, including after the deferred resignation program was temporarily paused. Basically, they responded much later and told him he's not getting a penny. He's not getting a cent. He's not getting the money that is owed to him or the money that was promised to him. Instead, this past Monday, the acting deputy regional administrator called Curtis to inform him that his job was being terminated. Despite having served 32 years in the Navy, Curtis had only recently joined FEMA starting in July of 2024, meaning he was still in a probationary employment phase during which he was easier to fire. He went to his office to collect his personal effects, but he was turned away. And as of this writing, his belongings have still not reached him. And he gets nothing. Now, this is a career professional, a retired Navy captain who served his country. How do you feel about that? He's not the only one that this is happening to. He's not the only one that this is happening to. And we showed you a young man who worked for the FAA. He said he quit a very lucrative job, left a lucrative job because he really respected and admired the mission of the FAA, and he thought it was an honor to work for our government. He was 1 month away to be off of his probationary period. He had been told by his boss they had already put the paperwork in. They wanted to keep him. He was a great employee, and they let him go as well, basically like, through a text message or through an email, similar to this retired Navy captain. Remember, this is the party who supports our military so much, who wants the military budget to be so high. Men and women in uniform, saluting, flags, all of that. Star-Spangled Banner, stars and bars. And this is how they treat a retired Navy captain. This is how they treat a retired Navy captain. So all is not what you think it is. It's smoke and mirrors. Because as we have been showing you, and as others have been reporting on what DOGE is actually doing and how much they are actually saving, if any, money, really. And it doesn't appear to be saving and doing as much as you think they're doing. Again, that's not just me saying it. That's what the reporting is saying. It's not just me saying it. That's what the reporting is saying. Okay. Oh, yeah, I am frozen for some reason on TikTok. I don't know how to fix that. Sorry. I have no idea how to fix that. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Okay. I'm just going to have to do it over. I have no idea what's going on here. Let's see. Why am I frozen? Okay. I'll have to correct that and fix it. Sorry, I'm just going to have to do it over again. I'm going to end it now, and then I'm going to go back into it. Sorry, if you're watching us on YouTube, I have to fix this because it froze on one of our feeds. Anyways, so it's not all that you think it is. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors. And I don't know exactly how people are going to respond to this and what people are actually going to do and how it can be fixed now. I don't really know. I don't really know how it can be fixed now and if it can be fixed. And I told you that this is a break the glass moment. Thank you. Sorry, I had to fix that. So I want you guys to sit back and listen to this as well, because this is a polling. Let me show you the polling, and then I'm going to play James Carville. Let me show you the polling first on Musk and Trump, okay? This is their approval rating, and they're doing both. It's interesting that they're doing, Elon Musk now that he's a member of the government, it seems. It's a bad poll for Trump. Trump's approval rating and disapproval: 45% approval, 53% disapproval. Musk's approval rating: 34%, disapproval 49%. Who should control the next Congress? 54% say Democrats, 41% Republicans. Should Trump obey courts that say his actions are illegal? 84% say yes, 11% say no. So they appear to be doing, according to this poll, exactly the opposite of what the American people want. Exactly the opposite of what the American people want. So we're back up on all the platforms. Make sure you share just share the live on TikTok, please, so we can get our folks back, because I was frozen, okay? And make sure you hit the thumbs up here. And again, on purpose today, I'm going slowly because every day I don't think it needs to be. I shouldn't come in here with my hair on fire and yelling and screaming at you. Sometimes I'm just going to take my time and we're going to have coffee together. I should have cooked breakfast this morning and explained all this stuff. We can never assume that MAGA isn't serious, says Mishi. So that's the approval or not approval rating for those two gentlemen and of what our government is doing. Now, I want you to listen. This one is a longer piece as well, but I think it's very important for you to sit and listen to this, because this is James Carville. This is a man of integrity, and he's going into the lion's den. And I actually think he did a really, really good job on the Fox News with the Sean Hannity. And I think more Democrats should be doing exactly this. And so that people outside of the liberal bubble or their bubble, people who don't really pay attention to right-wing media, so that I mean, I'm sorry, people who don't pay attention to left media, or they keep their TVs on Fox all day, so that Democrats can reach those people and you can inform them, because they're not going to get the right information just sitting there with Fox all day, listening to the same people over and over saying the same thing. And all Democrat, bad; Republican, good; MAGA, good. Okay, James Carville with Sean Hannity. And listen, he did a good job. Here it is.
This more deficit has accumulated under Donald Trump than the other president in American history, but I'm glad that you're on the fiscal responsibility bandwagon. You're reading these polls, and I'm reading the polls saying the Democrats are 13 points up in the congressional generic, that Donald Trump has the lowest approval rating of any president at this point in his presidency in American history. So your viewers are getting one view, and I'm reading another view. So one of us is right and one of us is wrong. I think the Republican Party is against the minimum wage. I think the Republican Party stands for more tax cuts for people making over $400,000 a year. I think the Republican Party wants to get rid of a woman's right to choose. I think the Republican Party wants to destroy Medicaid. I think the Republican Party would like to get rid of Medicare if it possibly can. I think the Republican Party supports Vladimir Putin. I think the Republican Party is weak when it comes to communist China.
I see a lot of Democrats, do support their rights to play women's sports. And you're not addressing those key issues that are...
It's the key issue what the High School Athletic Association decides who's eligible to play what sport, is the key issue. We're going to continue to help people with health care, with Medicaid and Medicare, or the key issue is that we're going to secure people's retirement security. The key issue is in this century, under Democratic presidents, 50 million jobs have been created and 1 million jobs under Republicans. I think most Democrats that I know want to create jobs, create opportunity for people, and create opportunity for young people. I don't know of anybody that's sitting there worrying about who plays in the high school track meet. I see you got USAID up there. They spend $41 billion. They spend $41 billion. The federal budget is $6 trillion. I did the math, Sean. It actually comes to something like 0.014%. So take the $41 billion, put it against the $6 trillion, and see what you've done when your president is responsible for more federal debt than any president in the history of the United States. Do you know what year had the most domestic energy production in American history? I happen to know. 2024.
I have no idea.
Fact check. I do.
That statement is true.
Domestic energy.
Did you hear? They started playing the music to get him off of there. Get him off. I'm sure people at home were throwing shit at the TV. Like, what? What? Oh! Like, they were just like, their cylinders were backfiring and they were like self-destructing. Oh! James Carville's up. And he's absolutely right. Everything he said was right. Everything he said was right. And it's Sean Hannity, because Sean Hannity is always like clean water, dirty air, dirty water, whatever, blah, 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 blah. He says the same things over and over, doesn't know the facts. He just sits there and he just spoon feeds his audience every night, as they do on the Fox News, exactly what they want to hear. Just spoon feeds and nothing factual. Nothing factual. And there was James. I mean, that was great. Now, I want you to listen, because this is right-wing media. This is also right-wing that I'm going to play. This channel leans right, conservative. I think they say that they don't, but they do. And so this is someone on News Nation explaining as well what the Republicans are actually doing and whether DOGE is making a difference or not. Again, I want you to sit back. And I want you to listen to this as well. And they try to cut in on this guy and cut him off as well. And the MAGA person is sort of sitting there dumbfounded because he has no response to it, because the guy is bringing facts, or he's doing what Representative Garcia said, bringing the right kind of weapons to a fight. Okay? Play it.
Americans are wondering right now, why the heck Elon Musk has access to their social security numbers, why he knows who's paying child support, why he sees people's tax refunds. I think they're wondering why this unelected billionaire knows information about them that he has no business knowing. And the answer, Chris, is that DOGE is a magic trick. And the key to all magic tricks is misdirection. Keep the audience's eyes on one thing while you work your real will somewhere else. Elon Musk is talking nonsense and he's causing chaos and he's distracting Americans because what's actually coming down the pike is $1 trillion of Medicaid cuts that congressional Republicans are going to walk off the gangplank and vote for this month. And for the life of me, I don't understand why. I know why Donald Trump wants to do it. He's got to pay for the tax cuts for the billionaires who sat at his inaugural address. But I don't know why someone like Representative Sessions would vote for it. The Texas 17th has 100,000 people on Medicaid. The majority of them are children. And for every dollar that gets spent on their primary care visits, on their vaccinations, on their at-home care for the elderly, the federal government picks up 66 cents. So who's going to pay for that when you take out $888 billion out of Medicaid? What are you going to say to your constituents back home?
But you're making an assumption, right? The budgeting process right now, Trump had said that he was going to leave the entitlements alone, Pete. What do you make of the congressman's
Chris,
argument?
Medicaid cuts are in the budget resolution. They are coming this month. $888 billion of Medicaid cuts. And I think Mr. Sessions is going to vote for them. And that's 100,000 people in his home district. And I just don't understand who's paying for them.
And the guy, the MAGA guy just sitting there. And look, I see the chat. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm just going to say, I don't know what happened to Chris. I don't know. You guys, wow, you have very strong opinions about him moving to the right. I don't know. I don't know. Maureen Marfell, I don't know what happened. Yeah. 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 Don't know. But that guy brought the facts. That guy brought the facts. And again, so one person tries to cut him off and the other one is sitting there and then he fact checks him. And then the other one is just sort of sitting there, just staring because he cannot, he can't respond because he has no facts. This guy is exactly right. And that's what I tell you all the time about false equivalency and insulting viewers' intelligence by putting people on who are lying about what is happening in the world, what is happening with DOGE, what is happening with Trump, lying about an insurrection, lying about a stolen election, all of that. Just lying. Do they deserve to be on the air? That is the normalization of something that is not normal. But we somehow made it normal, and the media is complicit. We've made it normal to put liars and bigots and racists and all that just on the air, to just spew garbage. And a big reason that we are where we are right now. But here's the interesting part, okay? Because some folks are fighting back. And we have been talking about, well, Democrats, you got to organize, you got to do something. And there have been some Democrats, they're trying, not doing a very good job of it, I must admit. But as we have been saying, the Republicans, the MAGA folks are going to FAFO. They're going to F around and find out. And I think they are finding out right now because some of these Republican lawmakers are going back to their districts, and boy, are they getting an earful about what is happening in Washington, D.C. right now. They are concerned about not paying attention to governmental norms or our Constitution, or about who exactly this is going to affect. Who's losing their jobs? Who's going to lose funding? This is a Republican representative in a deep red Georgia district going back home and getting an earful. Again, sit and listen. It's a bit long. It is good. MAGA folks, if you're in here, I want you to take a listen to this. Watch.
He lost forever in tyranny.
Representative Rich McCormick.
I believe you know the rest of his speech. Something about give me liberty. It's clear from all the writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king.
Pause, please, pause. So for the people who say organizing doesn't work, getting in your lawmakers' faces, calling their office, doing that it doesn't work, it does. You have the power. I believe that the biggest power that you have, the strongest thing that you have, the biggest thing in your arsenal, your dollars, money. Money talks. It's true. But to have someone in a deeply conservative district go home and hear this from his constituents, I think that is a wake-up call. She is talking about, she believes that right now, Donald Trump says he's a king. It's that much of it is trolling, but it doesn't matter because he actually believes it, and that's the way he is acting, as if he's a king. And these people don't like, perhaps these are Republicans who actually do believe in the Constitution. Let's keep going.
My shock and pure horror when I woke up to find that our president had given himself unprecedented executive powers and then within a few days named himself king to his followers. Yeah.
Tyranny. Do you have a question for the Congress?
I do. Thank you. Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
Pause it, please. Now, you see that? When you guys are saying, God, I don't know what to do, and you're all down in the dumps and whatever, oh my gosh. And, some days I come here and I'm Donnie Downer, but I've been telling you that you need to fight back. That people, you have to be willing to lose something. And I don't mean like your livelihood or your life or that. I'm not talking about that. But you have to be willing to give up something, some convenience, some comfort, something like that in order to make a difference. You have to fight. Now, if you are left-leaning, if you are center-right, if you are center, wherever it is, because I have folks who are Republicans here, and we welcome everybody. Well, even welcome the MAGA folks, right? As long as you don't troll us. And because I think people should be treated with respect. But are you going to let these Republicans, and maybe I'm glad that they are, that them make the difference? They're the ones that are taking to the streets. And maybe they're the right people to take to the streets because they're the ones that are going to lose the most because they're in the red states that get the most funding that's being cut. And remember, the blue states are paying for the red states. Kalila, you're right in the chat. They are waking up. Here we go. Keep playing.
I'm not going to give you my best foghorn leghorn response. But what I was, you can go ahead and sit down, thank you. When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. A lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you.
Pause, please. Pause, please. Now, he has a nerve to compare these folks to the January 6ers. Are these people breaking the law? This is like some of these just dumb MAGA brain lawmakers. How insulting of him to compare his own constituents to the folks on January 6th. It does not compute. It does not make sense. You're right, Jasmine Lanise. How insane. Yes, he said January 6th, Everest. He said January 6th. He had the nerve. Keep going.
You are offensive to the people. You are offensive.
Hey, let's get through this.
I've seen Game of Thrones too, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on because...
Okay, pause. He wanted to move on because he doesn't know how to handle it. So it does make a difference, guys. I'm telling you, you should be inspired by this. This should give you encouragement. You should be encouraged by this. They did shut him down, someone in the chat said. Let's keep going.
Not discussing, right? Do you want to hear that? If you stop yelling, I will answer. Otherwise, we'll move on.
Shut up.
If you would stop talking for a second, I will answer your question.
Don't forget us.
So if you listen to what we've projected, this goes both parties, by the way. This is a bipartisan problem. The REINS Act, which reins in executive power for both parties, whoever's in party power, and I think it can be tweaked actually to be much better. I don't think executive privilege should be as strong as it is. I think we're out of bounds right now. I think your direct representation, whether you like me or not, I'm the closest thing you have to represent. Your senator's not going to be as representative as me, and the president's not going to be as representative as me when it comes to you, the people in this district. Likewise, I think state government needs to be more powerful than federal government. It used to be that federal funds only made up 1/3 of the money spent, and states was 2/3. It's more representative of your money and your money spent. That's better. Always push government down to the local level because you'll get better representation.
What are you doing
I don't
about
want
the
to see
king?
the president make all the decisions.
The
I
king.
don't.
What do you know about the king?
Pause. So he's giving them all this bullshit about representation of the money, and they're like, what are you doing about the king? What about the king? And that's how you keep him on track, because he, again, distraction, distraction, distraction. They want to know what the fuck you're doing about the king shit. We don't want to hear about 2/3 and 1/3 and federal this and blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? Keep going.
Do you not want to hear that I just said? I answered directly. I said I don't want to see any president be too powerful.
What are you saying about it? Right now.
I just told you we have an act. We have an act that can be passed by bipartisan resolution. The problem is we couldn't pass it when Joe Biden was in
Because he didn't want to be king.
Then why didn't he pass it?
Pause. Okay.
Wouldn't pass
Did you hear that? These people are okay. People are gonna think I'm nuts. Who's that? It's driving me crazy because they're doing a better job than the press corps. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're doing a better job than the press corps of keeping him on track. When he says, well, why didn't Joe Biden do it? And they said, because he didn't declare himself a king. This is what the press corps should be doing. The White House press corps should be doing this. Instead, they let that young lady walk all over them, and maybe a couple of them get into an argument back and forth, and then it's over. They don't really hold them to account, and these people are. And this is what you should be doing. Keep going.
And the Senate, the democratically controlled Senate would not touch it because they wanted Biden to have executive privilege that was too big too. And this is the problem. This is a bipartisan issue, guys. I'm the one saying let's work together, and you're the one screaming at me. Okay?
Biden didn't say it was
Let's be fair. I'm telling you how you solve this, and you're saying no, we don't want to hear that.
We want to work with someone better.
Hey, let's.
We want to work with someone better, and that means we're going to vote you out. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And other things. You need to organize. And there's a poll up today. What are you going to do today? that's asking you, what are you going to do today? Let's tally how many times he blames Biden. Well, if we were doing a drinking game, we would all be smashed right now. And those people were right. They came right back. They said Biden did not declare himself a king. Biden did not sign an executive order that basically said that he creates all the laws in this country. And that's what Donald Trump did. People aren't stupid. This is Representative Rich McCormick, deep red Georgia district. And it got even rowdier. Watch.
You can go and yell all you want, but I can't understand 10 people, let alone 100 people.
They said the budget, not the president. And you are doing us a disservice to set that down and not stand up for us. And
So if we're going to have a town hall, and I'm going to come and stand in front of you and take your questions and try to answer them as honestly as I can, then let's do that, okay? But if you're going to just yell at me, that's not going to be an effective town hall. I get it.
So he doesn't want to get yelled at by his constituents. Getting yelled at? Is that, I mean, what's worse? Losing your job? Losing your benefits? Losing your democracy? From someone who has declared himself a king? Maybe they're trolling, maybe not. I don't think he's trolling. I think he's serious because he's certainly acting like one. And again, they are doing a better job of holding this person accountable than the actual media, the press, the White House press corps, and the media. People are waking up. And do you think, let me ask you in the chat, do you think that this whole declaring himself a king is going to backfire? Has it already? Because you know how Americans feel about the monarchy. They're like, they're not into it. They like palace intrigue, but they don't want to be part of one or our country to have one. But guess what is happening on the social media? Because a town hall like that would normally go viral, right? But folks are saying that the Twitter is censoring McCormick's town hall. This is a post from Aaron Fritzner. X appears to be censoring Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter Bluestein's post covering Representative Rich McCormick's town hall. The now unavailable post, which per Bluestein were not deleted, showed McCormick being booed after he defended DOGE. The town hall crowd, Pepper's representative, that was the original thing. And then all of a sudden they say it is unavailable. Do we know, did they say they reached out to X or anything? Did they respond to this? Do we know? Producer?
Not that I know of.
So there you go. Your future, your now, your present is being controlled by billionaires. One who is a self-proclaimed one, I'm not sure if he is, who is in the Oval Office. And the other ones have been granted power by the person who's in the Oval Office. And the people are starting to fight back. One Georgia district can be a ripple that causes a tsunami in an ocean. If you join your brothers and sisters from Georgia and fight back, because otherwise we are not going to have a democracy if we don't fight back. Maybe you disagree with me. Anyone listening? Is this microphone on? Hello? Are you guys listening? So what are you going to do? What do you think of that town hall? What are you going to do today? That's what our poll says. What are you going to do today? Call your congressman, call your senator, organize a protest, all of the above. All of the above and call your congressperson are neck and neck. One is 40%, call your congressperson, 39%, all of the above. Senator, 16%, organize a protest, 5%. You guys don't want to protest. Why? Is it too cold? What is going on? You have to be willing to sacrifice something. Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's a little warmth. You put on a coat and some mittens and some long underwear. Or as we used to say growing up, my dad, union drawers. Y'all don't know what union drawers are, do you? Your union underwear. Remember the ones with the flap in the back? I'm just saying. So look, I have informed you for the day. Don, you're right. We have to fight back, says Shirley Christian. I have informed you for the day. Long Johns, thank you very much. And I hope you take heart in people that are fighting back. Remember when I said, I hate to be Donnie Downer? Well, I'm leaving you with something positive. There are people who are fighting back and they're showing you how to do it. And there is hope now. All is not lost. But we are in a race car careening towards fascism with a democracy sign in our rearview mirror. So I shall see you. Oh, I need to tell you that you can, if you stay here after this is over, you'll be redirected to something that I think you should see. We did something on Ukraine and exactly what Donald Trump is doing as it relates to Ukraine. It is an upside down world, upside down foreign policy. He is calling Vladimir Zelensky a dictator, but does not have that same ire for the actual dictator, which is Vladimir Putin. And you'll be redirected to it if you stay right after this. It's very interesting. Trust me, you want to watch it. So listen, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. The membership link is in the top of the chat. And they're very reasonable. And we appreciate everything that you're doing. Let's see. Let's make sure that we don't.
Yeah. Hey, Don, I was going to say, just look at the text I just sent you. New reporting out of the Daily Beast. It's very interesting.
Okay. It's something about a KGB. A former Soviet intelligence officer has alleged that Donald Trump was recruited by the KGB in 1987 and given the code name Krasnov. Really? Is this real, Peter? Yes, it is.
It's real.
Former intelligence officer claims KGB recruited Trump. Oh my gosh. Again, this is not our reporting. This is a reporting from the Daily Beast. And we should try to get this right around. Let's try to get Chris McGrath on. A former Soviet intelligence officer has alleged that Donald Trump was recruited by the KGB in 1987 and given the code name Krasnov. Alnur Musayev, 71, a former Kazakh intelligence chief, made the explosive claim in a Facebook post on Thursday. He claimed that he served in the 16th Directorate of the KGB in Moscow, which was responsible for counterintelligence support within the economy. One of his key objectives, he claimed, was recruiting businessmen from capitalist countries. He wrote that in 1987, our directorate recruited Donald Trump, a 40-year-old American businessman, under the pseudonym Krasnov. He reiterated that the department specialized in recruiting spies and intelligence sources from the West, asserting once again that Trump had been brought into the fold. I hope I'll survive a third assassination attempt, he said in the comment below the post. He made another shocking allegation in another comment saying, today, the personal file of resident Krasnov has been removed from the FSB. It is being privately managed by one of Putin's close associates. His allegations, while unfounded, add to an ongoing speculation about Trump's connection to Russia. Trump's first visit to Moscow as a real estate developer in 1987 drew intense scrutiny and speculation that the trip was arranged by the KGB for dubious reasons. And then they go on to talk about this reporting from Politico. According to Politico, in 1985, the KGB updated a secret personality questionnaire distributed among the agency, advising case officers what to look for in a successful recruitment operation. The document instructed agents to target prominent figures in the West with the goal of drawing them into some form of collaboration with us as an agent or confidential or special or unofficial contact. Trump has denied any improper ties to Moscow or collusion with President Vladimir Putin. And then it goes on. Listen, it's wait a minute. Hold on one second. The Daily Beast has reached out to the White House and Russia's foreign ministry for comment. U.S. officials have expressed concern about Trump's relationship with Putin. Anthony Scaramucci, who briefly served as Trump's White House communications director in 2017, said during an episode of the Rest is Politics U.S. podcast for Caddy K. Oh, it's Caddy K, who's a host over on Morning Joe on Friday, that he thinks there is a mysterious hold on the president. Scaramucci did not elaborate on what he believes that hold might be by adding only, "I don't know why it's like this. H.R. McMaster couldn't figure it out. James Mattis couldn't figure it out. John Kelly couldn't figure it out." Former intelligence officer claims KGB recruited Trump. That's according to the Daily Beast. So stay tuned for this, and it's very interesting that this is coming up, because this is why you should watch the thing that you're going to be redirected to right after this live stream. I feel like Paul Harvey right now. Remember Paul Harvey? I'll see you at 5 p.m. Eastern live. And Paul Harvey, as he would say, and now you know the rest of the story. Good day. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support.